Hello, welcome. Today I'm going to be sharing an interesting article from People magazine on January 16th, 1978 about Elton John. It is particularly interesting to me because it was a portion of his life that I was not familiar with. I grew up in the late 90s and knew my entire life that he was a gay man with a flair for pageantry, so to find out the information in this article, I was honestly shocked and saddened. Now, just a little background, Elton came out in 1976 as bisexual. As someone in the public eye, he was closeted before that. And then in 1992, he was finally able to come out as a proud gay man. Before that, it was most likely that he hid his sexuality due to society's treatment of gay people, so just keep that in mind as you hear this article. So the cover states, "The new Elton John. He's given up touring in those nutty glasses, but not lasses." The article itself is a People bio titled, "Elton John no longer views life through crazy glasses. Darkly. He's a new and different man." By Fred Hopfer, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, and the photographs are by Terry O'Neill. For more than a year, all the news from Elton John had been pretty alarming. He'd given up performing, exclusive heterosexuality, and more recently, Jeepers, his $50,000 collection of Peepers. But now comes the flip side. Elton's into the latest soft contact lenses, which, like his recent hair transplant surgery, hearteningly suggests that vanity still spices his life. Just possibly, his announced retirement from the stage isn't forever. With what the new musical tangents forthcoming on record, certainly his sex life isn't suffering. I mean, not once a day flinches the 30-year-old Captain Fantastic, say 3 times a week. Pause, at least, and more female than male. All that may not sound like the sort of lifestyle to warm a mum's heart, but Elton's mother applauds him for coming out of the cupboard. Sure, Sheila Fairbrother, 52, admits to mixed feelings, but she adds, "I would never interfere. If he chooses a life with another man, that doesn't worry me. I just want him to be happy." What does worry her about Elton, despite a fortune wardrobe and popularity rivaling his royal neighbor down the road in Windsor Castle, is that he seems to be an unhappy person. The difficulty, she says, is his loneliness and isolation, the wall around him. She's referring not to the electrified gates or guard dogs, but hangers-on, the people preventing him from establishing good relationships. Elton has faced at least partly to those perils. Even before Presley's death, he fretted that, "I don't want to end up like Elvis. I want to be active and involved with people." That means going outside, he realizes. That you must have people around you who will bring you down to earth. His mother is the main person. If not always with immediate effect. "I'm not the settling down type," Elton keeps telling her. "I'm afraid of someone getting to the real bottom of me because I don't know what's there myself. When people get too close, I shut them off." Yet deep down, his mom insists, "I know that he would love to get married and have a family." Elton agrees with her, at least, that his publicized bisexuality has no obstacle. "The sort of woman I'd marry would understand that anyway," he notes, of course, that his last serious relationship was also his first. Elton was 21 then, and remembers, "We'd made the cake and bought the furniture. The person was a female, a 6'2" blonde, and the experience inspired him to write 'Someone Saved My Life Tonight.' Their breakup frightened me off sex for a good year or 2, he admits, and led to a suicide attempt. It was a very Woody Allen type suicide. I turned on the gas and left all the windows opened." And a more recent companion was a 17-year-old schoolgirl. But Elton's dream type, he sighs, is the vastly experienced older woman who knows everything about the world. "I know 6 or 7, they're all happily married. Something psychological there," he laughs. "Oedipal maybe? The girl who is married, dear old dad, is the most wonderful woman I've ever met," says her only son, Reginald Kenneth Dwight, by name, whom she championed a household where his RAF squadron leader dad didn't like the boy. Stanley, his ex-wife reports, wanted a daughter, and Elton, she remembers, grew up a bundle of nerves. The Dwights split when Reg was 14. She has since married an interior decorator, Frederick Fairbrother, and Elton is still estranged from dad. The only fatherly legacy left is exciting memory of sharing a 6-pence standing room purchased on the stadium embankment to cheer the Waterford Hornets soccer club. Elton still faithfully follows Hornets games, sometimes chartering a helicopter to away matches. But now he occupies the midfield box as befits the team's chairman and 51% owner. Neither mere figurehead nor flamboyant Ted Turner-type meddler, Elton is the model ball club executive, pouring his treasure into rebuilding without kibitzing the coach's field strategy. Chairman John makes the 40-minute drive to practice field 3 or 4 mornings a week, and at games manfully puts up with the loudish hecklers from opposing teams who call him the F word and worse. "I'm not that anyway," he snaps. F-word, is an English sausage. The man who once described himself as a male Betty Boop is accustomed to epithets. Elton's melodic, if muscular, middle-of-the-road music and varied success had made him target practice for preening of rock critics. After 6 years of non-stop touring and prolific recording, Elton himself felt like there was no burning spark left. To sing Rocket Man yet again was just digging up the dregs. The thought appalled me. So 2 months ago, Elton stunned an English crowd of 8,000, not to mention his own entourage, by announcing that this was his last gig. Stevie Wonder joined him on stage for an electrifying and emotional finale, and then Elton exited to wipe the slate clean, to start over again. Had I kept going as I was, he now figures, my whole life would have passed me by the time I was 35. What I have done musically, of no great importance to next to what's been done down in the centuries. But he excuses himself, saying, "You can't produce a major work between climbing on and off stage and getting onto a plane. There's so much inside of me that still has to come out." Some of it may spill over into other media. An ABC TV special is shooting in March, and he's also contemplating a follow-up to his big screen debut in Tommy, with a semi-autobiographical film. In it, he and sometime rock rival Rod Stewart would play themselves. "I don't particularly like his lifestyle," volunteers Elton, "but then I doubt he likes mine." Another departure is writing some of his own lyrics, which have been consigned to the last 9 years to Bernie Taupin. Musically, Elton has been reverting to sort of a Soho soul sound, with the Spinners' Tom Bell taking over his current production. Other eventual changes may include a switch to more intimate concert halls, because you can't have a conversation with people in the bleachers. Elton doesn't deny that the punk new wave makes him feel old, but I know I have more talent than most of them. I do believe that I could come back anytime I want to, he says. "I'm fortunate I'm only 30. There's so much time still." An immature 30, his mother corrects him. I'd put him at about 23. Elton dutifully accepts that his real need is to grow up. A few years back, he said, "I didn't start enjoying life until I was 21, so I'm living through my teenage period now." He acknowledges, "I'm obsessed with getting myself back together. That means stand, shrink, and without stopgag, casual liaisons." Though he adds, "I like pretty people, but I don't like to have rampant sex life. I can get off on my work just as well." It won't trouble him if people stop making passes at a guy without diamond-framed glasses. He is so nearsighted he can hardly read the top line of an eye chart. As for his bald spot, it was caused, he says, by messing around with my hair, pink, green, orange dyes. 100% vanity. He calls the transplant, which required 2 90-minute operations in Paris. "I'll just be grateful if it grows. He'll find out by the end of March. Until then, he keeps it under his hat." Even indoors. His new image is trimmer also, thanks to a no junk food and no booze regimen. He once drank as much as 1.5 bottles of scotch in a day, and now sticks to fruit juice, Perrier water, and, before soccer matches to calm his nerves, valerian root tea. As a result, he's lost 40 pounds in 4 months, bringing him down to 145, over 5'8". With his designer stepdad's guidance, Elton is redoing the 7-bedroom main house on his 37-acre Berkshire estate. Within it, the master has created a bachelor retreat with a combined bathroom, library, sauna, and stereo room, so that he can disappear for a couple of days without ever coming downstairs. As for staff, Elton points out, "I'm not a duke or an earl," and he actually helps out with the dusting and hoovering. "I'm a cleanliness fanatic, and it relaxes me." On the other hand, he maintains a flotilla of 17 cars worth $750,000. "I can live pretty well in England," he notes pointedly, "on what I earn." Though many showbiz colleagues have fled in tax aisle, he snorts, "It depends on what you want in life, whether you want to have a sense of values or you're out to save a few quid." Elton reckons he'll always be stuck with the glasses thing and the bloody, glittery image, but says, "I feel new." The world's reaction to an Elton John without fanzine flash doesn't seem to worry him. "I'm in limbo with people itching to see what I'm going to do next, and if I'll fall on my face." He used to dismiss Sinatra and Crosby just because they were older, but has come to appreciate the reasons for their long careers. "They diversified," he explains. "They had other things to offer. I can see myself singing at 50 and 60, and I hope I will always have something to contribute. The bitch, as his song goes, will surely be back." So yeah, that is the article. Looking back over 40 years, it is clear to see the changes that society has made to be more accepting of the LGBTQ+ community, and also the way we address mental health. And although there are still many things that need to change, we have made a lot of progress. I hope you found it interesting. If you would like to see more from this magazine, I do have a full flip-through video that I'll link below, as well as a blog post with images and background as well. If If you would like more vintage content, please feel free to subscribe.